What first steps would you recommend for teachers to do in their classrooms in order to shift teaching math for our 21st century that includes racial and social justice and mathematical modeling?
So I think, the first steps that I would recommend for teachers is to get to know your students in a way that affirms their family, cultural, and community knowledge bases and lived experiences, and bring them into the classroom as part of the resources for your mathematics teaching. So you're really centering, it's not just getting to know students, it is centering your math instruction around students. And that really means you have to deepen your relationships with students and all of the important people and spaces that they come from. So for me, I think that one of the ways to do that is to think about and get to know and listen for the kinds of observations and questions kids are having about their communities, about the region that they live in, about environmental situations that they might be engaged in. Think about clean water, think about clean air, ways in which you can get students to investigate the world around them from an analytical lens as well as a justice lens. So it's not just analyzing, it's trying to figure out how to improve the situation, transform the situation for the betterment of the community within the school and outside the school, and all the ways in which children are moving in the world. Part of us is to talk about what mathematical modeling is. And mathematical modeling is the sort of iterative, systematic process one goes through to understand a real world situation. And for me, mathematical modeling is an equity lever because it supports students to analyze the world around them, to gain skills around problem posing, to be able to identify important quantities and to connect relationships between those quantities, operate on those quantities, interpret those quantities in ways that help them answer the questions that they already that they've posed about a situation. And in our curriculum right now, mathematical modeling is a secondary content standard and a K-12 mathematical practice standard. And so if we want students to engage this from a content standpoint at the high school, then we need to build and give them really many opportunities for them to engage in mathematical modeling earlier. And for me, mathematical modeling is a place in which students can gain skills in collaboration. They can, again, answer questions that are about their own communities, about ones that have equally valid and different solutions based on the assumptions that you've made about the situation. So perhaps an example might be helpful. You can investigate, for example, how much water is enough for a class, for a day, for a month, for a year. And you might ground that in the context that in some schools, there is a lack of access to clean water, right? And they have to ship it in. So for an investigation, students can help sort of identify, will there be enough water? And through that process, start to think about and identify what would be important information in order to analyze and solve that problem. What would we need to know? What do we know? What do we need to know? And what assumptions or decisions do we have to make in order to solve this problem. And that whole process enables students to engage in critical thinking and high cognitive demand engagement that often students who are from historically marginalized and segregated communities don't get a chance to engage with in school. And so for me, mathematical modeling enables students to connect to their lived experiences and knowledge. It allows them to engage in high cognitive demand tasks and builds their problem posing skills so that they can answer questions that are meaningful to them.
I believe that water task I've seen on your website.
The water task or the or the safe water task.
Yes. And so